I will kickstart us off. Hello and welcome to the official podcast. I've unloaded my bags. Papa's come home. I'm back amongst my people, and I've brought a friend, a best friend, an internet famous friend. Yes, it's Jackson. Hello, Jackson. Thank you.
Thank you for bringing me, Andrew. It's
Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm glad
Jackson,
to be here for your return.
Jackson, if I may, I'd like to introduce you to another friend of mine. He's been here the entire time. I
don't know if I want a new friend.
It's okay. He's a pretty swell fellow. He makes videos on YouTube, streams on the Twitch, as a lot of us do these days. He is Steph, also known online as Albino, or I think sometimes Albino as a little goof.
Hello.
Albino, why don't you tell the people what you do and what you're all about and what's going on?
Yeah, I'm Albino. I make YouTube videos and I stream on Twitch. That's basically it. I'm a guy with a computer and I upload things.
Self-explanatory.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah. I used to do.
So I don't know how I feel about your friend. I need more. I need more to go on.
He needs. All right. So convince Jackson in like 2 sentences why you're a great friend.
Okay, I'm gonna try a bit harder. Okay.
Yeah, make us invest in you like Shark Tank.
Yeah,
like, how much
this is
going
gonna be
to part
easy.
with?
Right.
Pitch yourself to us as a guest right now.
All right, here goes. I make Fortnite videos.
Oh God. Well,
Jesus.
thank you for coming.
How much do you want for 10%
Thanks for having me.
equity?
It's been a good time.
Yeah, tune in next week for the next official podcast. Patreon.com/theofficialpodcast. Thanks, guys.
It's true though. I did make those for like an entire year straight. Just Fortnite. It was great.
To
Did
be
you want
fair,
to kill
though,
yourself afterwards?
no. To be fair, he was making Fortnite videos back when it was fun. We all liked, well,
Yeah,
except for Kyle,
yeah.
we all liked
yeah,
Fortnite
yeah.
at some point.
Yeah, I don't think I'll. Go ahead.
Just to clarify, that was before Fortnite added bots to compensate for sweaty players.
Yeah, I don't think Albino here is giving him enough credit. Like of course, I think the four of us being grown adult men don't really take in Fortnite videos all that often, but I think I marathon this man's entire channel in 3 days, just because the amount of time and editing he puts into what he makes is really pretty dang impressive. So I'd highly recommend if you're listening at home and going, ew, Fortnite.
Yeah.
Nah, it's pretty different. Pretty different.
Fortnite has a bad name to it. Like it's like a children's game. It's cringe. You see like your neighbors doing Fortnite dances at the time, and it was like,
Nah.
being branded a Fortnite YouTuber wasn't great. But I mean, I just played it. It was a fun. It was genuinely a fun game
It's
back
pretty
then. Like,
insulting.
I really
That's what
enjoyed
I
it.
say.
Oh, so you actually
Yeah.
played it because it was a fun game, and you made videos on it because it was a fun game.
Yeah, it
instead
was
of
nothing
just,
about like the game being huge and I'm making money on it. It was just like, I'm really, really enjoying the children's game. It was.
You should never listen to these stereotypes. Like, Minecraft is for autistic children. It's still fun. It's still a good game. They make fun of Fortnite. I personally never
Yeah,
tried
the
it.
autistic
but
children have a good idea. They know what they
it's
like.
fun. Eh? It's probably one of my top two. My top two most played games are probably Worms Armageddon and Minecraft. I don't care if it's for kids. Even
that's
if
a
it
good game.
openly said
Oh, yeah.
that it's for kids, it's fun. Same with
Yeah.
Fortnite.
I
If
mean,
you enjoy
I
play it,
regularly just still play Pokemon games. Like I play probably one every couple months. I still think they're fun and enjoyable, even though technically
so
their
niche.
primary audience is kids.
How do you get away with playing that in this day and age, Andrew?
You should be arrested.
Yeah.
you should
I
just
don't know how
never
I'm still
listen to
in the
these.
country.
All the stereotypes are kind of set by gamers themselves, and it's almost never. If it's fun to you, who cares? My girlfriend
Yeah,
got a
maybe
Switch
you
and
enjoy the
downloaded
game,
that.
then you're good. Honestly.
She downloaded
Exactly.
that Pokemon game, and I was about to tell her, like, there's been a lot of outrage. Apparently, it sucks hardcore. They didn't put any effort into it. They don't care. It's the worst game in the franchise. So many Reddit threads about it. But then I thought for a split second, she told me she was enjoying it, and I thought for a split second, this is a person who doesn't give a fuck about some Redditors getting their panties in a bunch. Why should I ruin their fun if it's fun to them? Right? If it's fun.
The
Agreed,
people
but
writing
to be-
this online are like, I think all of them are just like that guy in the friend group who's like, oh, you're enjoying this game? Did you know
Yeah.
that the animations are bad and they're pop-ins and like,
The draw distance is 10 years old. They haven't upgraded.
Yeah, you really shouldn't enjoy it.
I think the
Because
internet
I don't
has
enjoy
really pushed a narrative onto people that you can't criticize something and enjoy it.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I think that you can openly say, "Hey, this is bad. I know, but I still like it, and it's still fun, and I don't really care about the flaws." because people on the internet will be all like, well, I can't possibly play something that's bad. Why would you ever even enjoy something that's got flaws? Like, what's wrong with you? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
I mean, it goes the other ways too, like, all the way around. Like, if you say a game is bad, they instantly think you fucking hate the game, and you're like, oh, it's the worst thing to ever happen.
People are overly defensive about their games they like as well.
Yeah.
That too, but most people are also not these ultra online people who just get on these bandwagons and boycotts or boycotts, as they call them, where they just buy a game out of sheer spite or whatever. You know, most people, they don't, like, I would bet that the overwhelming majority of Blizzard's player base has never even heard of the Blizzard boycott that lasted like 2.5 weeks or 2.5 days or whatever, where like 10 Redditors deleted their accounts because some esport player got banned. Most Blizzard players probably don't give a fuck about esport players. They don't know. That's why you see
the China stuff with Overwatch.
The China stuff.
The Overwatch tournament,
which, you know, they won in the long run because, again, nobody cares. Nobody actually knows about it.
Exactly.
It's the same reason you can go on Twitter and see hate post after hate post about The Last of Us and then still read that it sold 4 million copies in like 2 days flat. It's because most gamers don't know about that.
I just finished it, by the way, and it was incredible. I don't care what Charlie says. Charlie, you're okay. I'm not going to go as far as to say you're wrong, Charlie, but you are wrong.
Wait, for what?
I think The Last of Us 2's narrative was super weak.
I see.
I mean, all I've seen about the game is just like the animations they made on Twitter, which were like, it's just brand memes, basically. It didn't make me want to buy the game. I didn't like. I mean, it's brand like names? A movie game. Brand memes, I mean, like when they do like the animations in game, and like they basically turn a meme into a in-game animations or something like that, and they post it.
Is that where they took the sex scene and redrew like every frame as something? Because that shit's incredible.
Memes. Oh yeah, it's not like an animation.
No, that's not the brand name. The brand name is like when the main, I think it's the main character, the girl, is like pointing at her head like the oh man, I wish I could show you a screenshot or something, but it's like the guy who, I think his name is Nile or something, and he makes his animators make animations of the characters to represent memes in his tweets on Twitter.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Neil Duckman he has the in-game characters animated in the form of older memes to recreate.
Right.
There's no tools. There's no tools in the game to make that happen though. So he actually has to make his animators make him memes.
Yeah, specifically for tweets.
I didn't know that.
Okay, God of War did the exact same thing. They took God of War models and had them reenact in-game, older memes. Nobody hated God of War.
They had an actual photo mode with tools within the game to make that happen.
Could be.
I actually don't even know what the fuck we're talking about still.
Haven't you seen? It was like a viral thing on Twitter a couple of days ago. Maybe weeks, I don't know.
Anyway, like that's a good example of a game where it just spawned this hate mob of people doing this reverse Rotten Tomatoes. You know how Rotten Tomatoes is, the critics will either hate something and then the audience is actually the people who are right. Like take Dave Chappelle, whose special was pretty funny, but the critics gave it a 0% because they all got offended and then it took like a week for it to even out. And I feel like with The Last of Us and similar games, it just takes the opposite route where for once in their miserable, useless, subhuman, degenerate, worthless lives, the game journalists were right at once. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
There you go. Credit where credit is due. You guys win. I still hope you become homeless and destitute, but you were right. This game's fun.
Yeah, I don't think just because a bunch of angry Redditors on the internet is throwing a fit doesn't mean a game is bad. Like, try it for yourself, I guess. See if you like it. If not, that's fine.
Yeah.
Always try it for yourself.
I'm not the one that's saying someone's right and someone's wrong. I'm saying I didn't like the story. You guys liked it and think you're right. You
directly told me that I was wrong in chat messages when I displayed my interest and enjoyment of the game.
If you can find me one time where I said, Jackson, you were wrong to like this, I'll buy you a PS5.
I think you specifically said you were wrong.
I never once said that. I told you things I didn't like about it and why I didn't like them.
You called me a corporate shill or something.
I never once said that. Oh my god. Jackson's just making a bunch of shit up now.
You should publish the receipts on your Twitter or on Reddit.
Yeah, I would love to see the receipts.
I'm gonna look.
What breaks my heart is I see people who've obviously not played the game saying, I don't know, man, I've heard so much bad stuff about it, but it doesn't look that bad. They're like almost ashamed that they almost want to like it. They're like scared to admit that they want to give a video game a chance. It's your video game. it's your fucking PlayStation.
It's
No one's
literally
gonna
just
know.
a game. I mean, Charlie has
play
played
it.
the game. If you don't like it, then that's like you have actually played it. That's like, you know, you can hate the game, you can say the story is shit. That's totally fine. But like when the people online are just like, well, I read on Twitter it's bad, so clearly it's bad, right? Like
The story
It's
is
just
really-
people hopping on the popular opinion, man.
Yeah. People really need to learn to strengthen their own personal opinions. Like, you can hate something that's popular, but you can also like something that's not popular. You don't have to like dive into whatever circle jerk you see first. Because I mean, that's what social media and the internet culture is all about. It's like you find your little circle of people that agree with you and you scream louder and louder and louder about it. So if someone goes on Twitter and they want to talk, hey, I liked The Last of Us 2, it was great, then all the people who hated it are going to jump on them. And it's like, you don't have to cave into that. It doesn't matter if people don't agree with your opinion.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, don't form your opinion on those stupid fucking threads. It's a fun game. Give it a shot if you guys want. Jackson, you liked it.
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, there were definitely negatives with the story. I thought the pacing was thrown off a little bit with all the flashbacks, and the ending was weaker than I would have liked. But I still enjoyed the whole package.
What was the name of the pregnant woman that got killed by Ellie?
Don't spoil it, you son of a bitch. Wait a
No,
minute.
he has no idea who it is because no one knows
Bastard.
these characters' names.
Spoiler
He doesn't
alert.
know who it is.
Yes, because there's so many pregnant women in the game. There's like 50 of them. You'll never
who-
know.
Yeah, Dina.
Nope,
That's one of the pregnant women.
that's one of the pregnant women, but that's not who I'm talking about. Ellie
Was
doesn't
it
know.
Mia?
Yeah,
Oh,
don't
okay.
spoil it. Don't spoil it for people. Don't be a
Point
dick.
proven.
But
He doesn't
so
know. I'm not
which-
spoiling anything. He has no idea who she is. He has
No,
no
for
idea
the
who she is.
listeners.
She was a big character. She was supposed to have an emotional draw.
For the players,
This is
not
exactly
for
what
the
I'm talking
listeners,
about.
not for Jackson or
Charlie's
Albino.
getting exasperated proving this.
I remember her what she looks like and what she did.
Without
Ah, nice.
spoiling it, my problem, not so much as a problem, what I find kind of funny is that almost all, so it's a revenge flick, which I have no problem with. I find that realistic, revenge and spite drive a lot of conflict in real life. Ask any ISIS fighter why the fuck he joined ISIS and he'll say that, the Americans bombed his son or something and now he wants vengeance. I get that, but a lot of the events in this game are set in motion by almost accidents. Like someone will be holding a gun to someone else and then their trigger finger will flinch and then all of a sudden a pregnant person is shot in the belly. It's like, okay, that wasn't even intentional. This doesn't seem like a very good reason to go on a vengeance bender. That's kind of silly, but it's fun. I don't get I follow a lot of these developers that worked on the game, and when I get on their Twitter accounts, they finally, I guess, their non-disclosure agreements are over, so they can finally talk about what kind of work they did for the game. It's insane the amount of detail that went into it. So when I see these posts about how the combat didn't improve at all, it's so boring. Like I see a whole team of 10 people whose sole job was working on the breath system, so every breath sounds different or this or that in the game. It's insane. It's an insane amount of effort that went to that game. I kind of feel bad for those
Details
people.
people
I don't mean
won't
to be
even
that guy,
notice.
but the amount of effort doesn't
That's
necessarily
exactly
equate
what
to
I was
the.
gonna say.
I mean, did
No,
you
not
play
quality.
Fallout 4, for example?
No, but I'm not saying it equates to quality. I'm just saying they are being called lazy right now when they are the opposite of lazy.
Okay.
It's people saying, "Oh, they just reused everything from the first game." They literally didn't reuse a thing. Apparently, if you read these interviews and go on their Twitters, it's sad. I feel bad for those people. I'd be a little bummed if I was one of them.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I was gonna mention that, in that game, for example, they voice acted the entire game, which took a long time, but it effectively just made the game worse. Because
That too.
me personally, I just installed mods to remove the voice acting entirely because it pulls you out of the whole role playing aspect. It was just fucking annoying. I want to roleplay as some kind of middle-aged father. That's.
So did you do the voices?
You should, yeah.
No, I just moved them.
Like
just
reading a
imagined
bedtime
it,
story for your kid. He tried to do every character and gave them all different voices himself.
Yeah, he recorded
cute.
the lines outside of the game and then modded them in.
No, I just put on the text. Come on.
Yeah,
Takes-
like
oh,
classic
right, right.
Fallout, right?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
the classic Fallout, didn't the first two games even have voice acting still? Haven't they always had
They
voice
did have,
acting?
yeah. But not for your character. Your character is a
Oh,
silent
yeah.
shell,
Right. I see what you're saying. Right.
And then your voice lines will be like determined by your intelligence and stuff like that, which is kind of interesting.
And your different text options, right?
Yeah. Okay, is anyone like me? I don't mind the voice acting when I get what you mean. You want to put yourself in the shoes of the character and you don't want any interference, like them putting you out of immersion that you're pretending this is you. But I don't have a problem with the voice actors, except, and maybe others are like me, when I disagree with them. Like when they say something nice, when I want them to be mean and kill the character that's in front of them. Like, no, don't spare his life. What are you doing? That's the kind of stuff that kind of riles me up.
That's the most frustrating fucking thing in a game, when you've got a little dialogue box and let's say a character's like, how dare you step into our land, we'll kill you. And it's like, maybe it says the phrase make peace in quotation marks. And you're like, I think I'll make peace with these people. I don't want to fight. And he goes, it's time to make peace. And he pulls out a gun and starts shooting everybody. I hate that shit so much.
The misleading headlines where it's vague. No, I don't like that either.
Well, make peace doesn't sound vague. It just sounds.
It's a biggest asshole thing, especially in role-playing games like these top-down, tabletop, Dungeons and Dragons kind of video games where you're kind of invested in your in-game reputation in the game. But then the dialogue is so vague that you'll say something nice and it leads to a fight, and you're like, I didn't mean to slaughter the whole tavern. This is great. Now I have to reload a save game. This sucks.
Do most of those games do that though? Like, I mean, in Fallout 4 they had like hate newspaper. Like they had like very, very vague, like 4-directional thing for controllers, but they didn't. That's the only game I've played where they do like super vague options and then the dialogue is completely different from like what you actually get.
I feel like the developers, what they're trying to do is hit you with a curveball. So, I remember this from Pillars of Eternity, I think it was called, where you can try the nicest dialogue options thinking that, I'm going to persuade this guy and make my way through cleverly. And then they just, all of a sudden, you're in a fucking battle with 10 orcs.
Right, yeah. I've never played that game. I tried it, but I just wasn't for me, man.
Well, a game that we can all play at home, if you want to save some money, is by signing up for Gabi Insurance. I mean, when's the last time you looked at how much you're spending each month on car insurance or on homeowners insurance?
Too much.
Now's the time to check out Gabi and see about getting a lower rate for the exact same coverage that you already have. Gabi lets you compare auto and home insurance, as well as other kinds of insurance, via their special, easy, convenient to use website. If you go on their website, you can see a bunch of the different insurance companies that they tend to offer and compare through. And you can also plug in your own provider, as I personally did myself, and see a bunch of different quotes, as well as the dollar amount for your insurance that Gabi can possibly save you. It's a quick and easy process. I was able to do it pretty simply, and it was overall a very pleasant experience. And that's why Gabi can save customers up to $825 a year on average. And if they can't find you savings like they did for me, they'll let you know so you can relax knowing you will have the best rate out there. It is totally free to check your rate and there's no obligation. You can take 2 minutes right now to see how much you can save on your car or homeowner's insurance. Go to gabi.com/official. That's gabi.com/official. Gabi.com/official. Steph, if you were to put insurance on something you own using Gabi, what would you put right now?
Something I own, probably my PC gear because it's in another country.
It is?
Yeah, it's in Spain.
Why is your PC stuff in Spain?
Yeah, wait, what?
Because of the coronavirus.
They stole it?
It's quarantined?
Yeah, no. Okay, so I was in Spain, and then quarantine, or like the corona broke out, and then my entire family was like, "Hey, you should come home. We think you're going to die." And I was like, "Well, sure, I guess." And then on the day, I just flew back up to Norway to be with my family, and then my stuff is stuck back in Spain. Mm-hmm. My computer, because like packing the app computer and 2 monitors and all that stuff, you don't get it on a plane.
Yeah.
So now it's there, and I'm here, and I'm sitting here with a laptop. It's a weird situation.
Yeah, so let's back up a bit on that. You're Norwegian.
Yeah,
we discussed this before the show. You're from Norway, but your family lives in Spain, and now you're in Norway.
No. Okay, so I'm Norwegian, born and raised. I've lived there my entire life, and then at some point,
Jesus fuck,
my hobby of making YouTube videos turned into a profit, and I was like, well, why would I get a normal job? I can just make shit posts on YouTube. This is great. And I figured, I don't know if you know, but Norway is like one of the most expensive countries to live in, period.
Right.
So if I can make videos and work online, why do it here? I might as well just do it in Spain. And then another YouTuber that I know, Otstarva, I don't know if you've heard of him. He did like Dark Souls 2 in no hits, all bosses, like a DLC and everything. Fucking insane. He was also looking to move out in Spain, and we were like, fuck it, let's move together. And then we moved to Bilbao in Spain, and I lived there for a year. And then
so you have like a YouTuber house together?
We had a YouTuber apartment. I wouldn't call it a house, because right. I think now YouTuber houses has like a negative connotations on it. So let's just call it a YouTuber apartment.
You're talking about the Smash drama, better, the Epstein Williams house.
Yeah, that's all like a mess. Jesus.
Yeah, that does look like a mess. Always deny you've lived in a YouTuber commune.
No, I did miss a couple of rents, but it wasn't like, this is not Sky House. This was like Albino Starva apartment. Okay, it's not.
So
very
you didn't
classy.
have to suck dick to keep living there?
Fortunately, I skipped that part. We just kind of existed there for a year, and then he moved out because I found a girlfriend. So then I got the entire thing for myself, and then it was just Albino apartment.
You replaced him with your girlfriend?
No, he got a girlfriend, and it was like, hey, and he asked me like, hey, could you move out so my girlfriend can move in? And I'm like, no, I don't think I will. And then he had to move out.
Aren't both Spain and Netherlands?
Is the friendship over?
Part of the...
I mean, no, not really. I think he expected me to, but then like I'm not going to move out of a really, really good apartment in Bilbao just because he got a girlfriend. Like that's...
So then here's what you should do. You should have invited his girlfriend to live with you and kicked him out.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the Chad move to do, but I just wasn't feeling it. We didn't have that kind of chemistry,
Turn him into Will Smith.
But then fast forward to March this year, and I was there's a YouTuber called Seth Seentach. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He wanted to move to Spain too, and then I helped him. Like he crashed my sofa, and then while looking for apartments, and the day he came to Spain, it was quarantined. And then he was just stuck at my place. Like we couldn't go like do anything.
Is that like those movie scenes where two characters in the movie are stuck together in like some place where they're sheltering from the evil monsters, and they have this romantic moments where they're leaning for a kiss, but then they're interrupted by the monster?
If I had stayed there, it would have been like a reenactment of The Lighthouse. I'm guessing. So I'm glad I got out.
But you kicked him out to roam the streets of Spain alone?
No, he lived there for like a month with my apartment.
Then he died?
He did get corona. Like he literally got corona, and he was sick for like a week or two, and then he found an apartment.
Like while he lived with you.
So you aren't both Spain and the Netherlands part of the European Union?
Yeah.
Okay, I think you can freely travel now, right? We can.
Yes, for the time being, but there has been like a second wave in Catalonia and Spain, like the southeastern region. So they might just go on lockdown again.
Yeah, well, put your shit on a UPS before that happens, or yourself on a plane.
Yeah, working on it. Seth is planning to buy my computer though. If I can just sell it to him, then why would I just send it?
That's easier.
Yeah, yes, it saves lots of hassle.
Scam him.
Fair enough. So did you guys hear about Will Smith getting cucked?
Yeah, I watched the interview that his wife did about it. It was weird.
Want to tell
Give
us?
us a rundown, someone.
Yeah, he looks
apparently
he looks destroyed.
His wife apparently has a show called like Red Table Talk. I don't know what the fuck usually goes on, but for some reason she decided to bring Will on to talk about how she cheated on him. Well, I don't even know if it was cheating, but how she was fucking a dude named August, who was like a family friend that their son introduced them to while they were on break.
Okay.
So she was just like, yeah, I was in an entanglement with August, and Will was like, no, that was a relationship. Call it what it is. And she's like, no.
That's like
all right.
God,
you know those stupid fucking porn titles that you see that immediately take you out of any fantasy, where you go, those dumb video titles that immediately make you go, this would never happen in real life. Boy fucks his best friend's mom. Yet in this case, it did happen.
It was so weird. Like because it's her show, And she brought Will on just to like to his face, show no remorse, laugh about it, and just talk about, this is just part of being in a shitty marriage. And at the end of it, they're like, they do the little bad boys creed where it's like, bad boys for life, except theirs is bad marriage for life. Just freely acknowledging that, they both don't really even like each other.
So you're gonna say
you also have to throw in they fist bumped at the end of it.
Yeah, they gave it a fist bump on it. Bad marriage for life.
I've been seeing like some pictures, screenshots of Will Smith looking like completely
Jada
dead
and Will.
inside.
Yeah,
he looks dead.
Yeah. And now, I always thought they were in an open relationship because for years there was like rumors of him and Margot Robbie getting together and shit like that. And then I guess that he wasn't okay when Jada got into like an actual relationship instead of a fling. So even during the thing, he's like, "I'm gonna get you back," and she's like, "You already have." And he's like, "Yeah, I did." So,
that's
pretty
sad,
shit
man.
marriage. It sounds like.
Every single screenshot of him that I've seen, and it's not just selective, editing or somebody trying to make him look bad. It's from his own social media accounts where he goes live and talks about it, and he just looks like he's just cried for an hour and then gone live. He has these bloodshot eyes, sad expression, talking about his marriage that everybody is talking about.
It just looks like that, like iconic pictures of Brendan Fraser with the eyes.
Yeah, pretty much. I wonder if we're gonna find out 10 years from now that she's been abusing him, just like with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, which had a court case this past week, where apparently the instance
didn't
where
he get the blame first?
He
got completely
cancelled
fucked
first.
Oh yeah, so Amber canceled Johnny first. Spread all these rumors of how he was a wife beater, and now it's come to light that she lied about basically everything, and if anything, that she was the abuser. And apparently
she shit in his bed. That's the thing that surprises me.
According
she
to
shit in his bed.
According
Really?
to Johnny, the moment
like,
that he
truly
felt
shit in his bed?
like, according to Johnny Depp, the moment that their relationship just took a self turn was when either Amber or one of her friends took a shit in their marital bed for fun.
Like literally pooped in the bed.
Yeah, literally. Which,
Okay.
yeah, I'd break
we don't
up
know if
over
it was
that.
on purpose.
That's not okay at all.
I thought you meant like as a metaphorical thing, but she did actually take a poo-poo.
No, she put a stinky anus up on those sheets and exploded diarrhea.
She was
all
like a
over it,
fucking
apparently.
cartoon villain. A little light bulb came up above her head, and she dropped trow and squeezed out a dookie in their bed.
That'll teach him.
Left.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Take this one, Johnny.
Well, last week we found
And
out
that was in between beating him and emotionally abusing him and slicing off his fingers and stuff.
And
Sorry,
Yeah, but
apparently
that's all just part of a marriage, man. The shitting in the bed's going a little far.
Yeah, how spiteful and mad do you have to be at someone to shit at their bed as the next step?
It's really been going wrong for a long time for like that to develop. Holy shit.
She allegedly also staged instance like spousal abuse scenes where she would stage somehow an aftermath of Johnny Depp throwing wine bottles at him. But then when crime scene investigators actually investigated the scene, they found no wrongdoing and that there wasn't anything actually happening here. So she was lying about all these instances of Johnny Depp, abusing her. But he still lost his Pirates of the Caribbean role over this. And he I don't know if he lost his role in the Fantastical Beasts or whatever the J.K. Rowling thing is called, her new movies. That guy lost a lot of money.
I'm pretty sure he
lies.
lost roles over it.
He did. Yeah, absolutely.
That's like the most fucked up part when like the allegations is one thing, like you get the rumor on you, but like when you get dropped by like everything, if you get like something against this.
So Albino, I think all of us here can agree that the Me Too thing has taken a sharp turn to just, Bill Burr did a bit on this in his latest special where, if the woman shows up and the meal is cold, she cries rape and Me Too and the guy loses his job. So my baseline Me Too assumption at this point is I assume the guy is a creep. I also assume the woman is lying about almost everything. But last week we talked about the Smash community thing. And the funny part about that was that no matter what these guys were accused of, they immediately admitted to everything. There was no two ways about it. It wasn't a he said, she said. No matter what people were accused of, they immediately bent the knee, threw themselves on the ground, covered their heads, and yelled, "Grenade, I'm guilty." And now they're all canceled.
But isn't that like, I mean, to give credit where credit is due, that saves everyone a lot of effort. Like if they admit, then that's fine.
Yeah,
that's true.
Zero did, I think, but after some like backlash for not being completely clear with the first couple of posts.
It took him three posts, I think, to fully.
It was just, I think in 1 week there were so many tweet longers. I just like, and the one that someone posted about Zero was a literal fucking Bible. I opened that thing, and I just see on the bottom like 63 pages.
Jesus. Yeah, it's a fucking novel. I
mean, I hope we all only see it as a good thing that these people are admitting to it, because what if there were some of them out there that were denying it and lying about it even though it happened? That would just make everything so much worse.
I think
there was anyone upset at the fact that they're admitting to it.
Anti basically rejected everything first, and then his lawyers came in and like he just went silent.
So there was some his lawyers came in and they were like, "No, he did it. Yeah, he's lying."
Just shut up, dude.
It's better than the case where they immediately admit it. We said this on the last episode. They immediately admit it, and then I assume then they contact the lawyer, and the lawyer's like, "What the fuck did you do? Are you fucking retarded? You can't just admit to everything in a twit-longer thing." Shit. And on Twitter, the thing is just. You can
just post another twit longer saying I take it back. I didn't do it.
My lawyer has advised me to post this twit longer.
The second you see somebody's draft, it's either a twit longer link or it is that screenshot of iPhone notes. Right? That's the moment you know, oh, this guy raped someone. And he's admitting to it. Right, It's almost 99% certainty that this guy's admitting to something. You don't even have to read it.
I made this statement a while ago that Twitlonger by this point is now either for long-winded apologies or people making jokes about a potential like long post. So 90% of Twitlonger is like apologizing for something that happened or explaining something bad or talking about something terrible. Or it's someone making a post and going, "Here's the shocking thing that you'll never believe." And it's just like a single sentence or someone joking with it. Those are the only two kind of posts that ever go on Twitlonger by this point.
I haven't seen the joking ones. I'd appreciate that if somebody made like a long 10-paragraph Twitlonger or a screenshot on his iPhone notes app about how, you know, his great sin was that he got the spice wrong on his girlfriend's sandwich.
Well, it's never like long post. It's usually, so they'll post on Twitter. They'll be all like, this is it. I can't hold it anymore. I have to announce it. And they post a Twitlonger, and then the Twitlonger is one sentence, and it sounds like, "I want to give you a kiss." And that's all it says.
Kind of disappointed because I've never seen anyone do what you mentioned, like the whole like you reel them in, you make them read all this shit, and it's just like a fucking joke. That would be great. I would love to see that.
That would be fucking great.
What was the super old classic meme about that, where you would read a story and at the end it would turn into that every single time?
It was a Reddit thing. The kid
shitty morph or whatever.
Jumper cables. That's the one I remember.
No, it's like Mankind McFoley.
No,
Jesus Christ! It was
older than that. Way older than
the
that.
Dinosaur,
right?
It was
the caveman. How old are you talking?
Get on the floor, do the dinosaur.
Maybe it was Get on the Floor and do the dinosaur. That might be the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, that is the one. We all dropped on the floor and did the dinosaur. That is the one.
Yeah,
definitely.
that was the one. You would tell. It was, and also it was posted in the chat as well, the Loch Ness Monster, where you would tell a long story and then do the South Park joke where it was about that time I noticed they were a Mesozoic era dinosaur. Yeah, and said I needed about Tree Fitty. Those old ones where you'd tell an internet story. Yeah, and then the other one, open the door, get on the floor, everybody walk the dinosaur. I miss those because you would always go on the internet and find a long, interesting story and immediately jump to the end to make sure that wasn't what was happening.
You can also do the
I miss those.
My mom dropped my tendies. That one. That's a trifecta. Get on the floor, do the dinosaur. She dropped my tendies, and whatever the fuck the other one was.
I don't know the tendies one.
I also don't know the.
I need about Tree Fitty.
Yeah, I need about 3
but
No, the tendies one is like my
good.
long story, 10 paragraphs, and the result is, you know, my mom dropped my tendies on the floor, or something like that. Effect. My God.
I think there's a good old amount of variations. Like Charlie said, one of the newer ones is Mankind was thrown off the Hell in the Cell at WrestleMania or whatever it was. That's another classic.
I don't know that one. Yeah,
that's a Reddit one.
Will is crying all over the place. Point is, Albino, if you want to be friends with us, don't do that.
Cry all over the place.
Yeah, we don't do emotions around here.
Yeah,
Right.
no
I'll,
cuckoldry, no crying, no fucking people's wives or having your wife fucked by someone else and then just wondering what happens and why you're crying and why your children are weird on Twitter. It actually explains a lot, doesn't it? For
His children haven't been weird on Twitter since they were like 14. They're pretty normal.
Yeah, Jaden has like
How old
stopped
are they
posting
now?
the weird shit.
Yeah.
Did he post
And
about his dad being
don't
cucked?
forget. Well, you guys are forgetting his first oldest son, who's actually a super normal dude who's not even really famous.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
How do we even know he's Will Smith's son, though?
Who?
No one does.
We just
I haven't even
assume.
heard of him.
He has 2 sons.
So
think
Will
he's Will
Smith,
Smith Jr.
believe it or not, has 3 kids. Most
Yeah,
people
one of
don't
them's-
know.
His name's Trey, right?
I think so, Trey. And so there's Jaden Smith, who we know, Batman and all the weird tweets and shit. And then there's what's his daughter's name?
Willow.
Willow, who does the music stuff and sometimes weird shit. But he's got a third kid, a son who's the oldest, who I think is named Trey, and he's like a college football player, and he's just fucking around, and he's a normal dude, gets a regular job, doesn't really do much limelight stuff, and most people don't talk about him.
Sounds like he's the only one not
do you
fucking
think,
around.
That's like the right
Do you
thing to do.
think do you think Will and his wife just forget he exists sometimes?
Well, it's not Jada's kid. He had Trey with his first wife.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So then she definitely forgets he exists.
Yeah.
Sambino.
So how old is Trey? Do you think Jada is ever like, so do you think Trey has any friends? Hot ones?
She fucks Trey.
We're not genetically related, Will. It's okay.
Yeah. Technically, there's nothing wrong with that. Technically.
Something
he, like,
big at Will.
pretty
But
young,
fuck
though?
his
I mean-
son.
Will's like, it's okay, I guess. It's just kind of weird. But I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just, it's just okay, though.
Is he bigger than me? He's 27 years old.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, man. Even Will Smith is getting old, isn't he?
Yeah, he's like 50 something.
Yeah. Usually
He's more
everyone
than
ages at
27.
the same rate.
Oh, God.
Although, if you are afraid of aging, you might be afraid of other things in life.
No,
I don't know, things that might threaten your home security, things that might make you feel a little less safe at home, things that might make you worry for your valuables. What is the number one sign of a bad home security system? It's
You
a
get
home
broken
security.
Thief in
into a
your
lot.
bed?
Well, those are good examples, but I would say it's a home security system that's so complicated you never even use it in the first place, because then you don't have a security system. This is exactly the type of security system that Simpli Safe has spent a decade fighting against. They believe that simple is safer, and it's exactly why Simpli Safe is the home security option for you right now, when feeling safe at home has never been more important. Simpli Safe was designed to be easy to use while protecting your whole home 24/7. Order online with the click of a button, open the box, place the sensors, plug it in, and your home is protected around the clock. Simpli Safe was named Best Overall Home Security of 2020 by U.S. News and World Report, and their 24/7 professional monitoring and emergency dispatch starts at just 50 cents a day. You know, boys, I was personally looking into all these packages that come from Simpli Safe and all these things to set up. And what blew my mind is for just 50 cents a day, you get 24/7 professional monitoring. It's usually way more expensive with other companies that do similar stuff. And even then,
The thief breaking into your house is going to take way more than 50 cents a day. So
exactly.
It's a no-brainer.
Do a cost benefit analysis. I haven't used that phrase in a long time, and I love that phrase. Do you really think losing all your valuables is more important than paying 50 cents a day for 24/7 professional emergency monitoring? I don't think so. And if you want to take advantage of that, you can head to simplisafe.com/official and get free shipping and a 60-day money-back guarantee. That's simplisafe.com/official. simplisafe.com/official to make sure they know that you listen to our podcast and you want to improve your home security.
Nice.
Very nice.
All right, so let's talk about you a little bit here, Albino. Is there anything that you'd like to tell us about yourself? Anything very interesting, masturbatory related, anything really? Just a free for all.
A free for
Sell
all.
us on you. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess. I don't think most people at this point know where I started off on YouTube. Does anyone here know?
Is this a
do,
pop quiz?
I think, but I don't want to spoil it.
That's a good way of lying.
Okay.
Of course I do. I just don't want to steal the thunder.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's fine. You don't have to spoil it. With cheating in Dark Souls 2,
Oh.
stream sniping.
Oh,
that was like
that's wait. That was cheating. Is that the Art of Dark Souls videos? Is that what you're talking about?
that was just editing like bullet parameters and shit. But for the most part, it was like there was a whole thing where the biggest streamers in Dark Souls 2, I think at the time, were like Ouroboros, Yukis Legion, and a couple more. And so what I did was, it's a video called The Seep Disaster, where I would change my Steam profile to look like another streamer. I wasn't a streamer at the time. And then I would use that profile to stream snipe the big streamers with like cheat engine and stuff, and then they would, like, as naive as they are, report that guy and just like send all their fans after him. And it was the funniest fucking shit. It was great. But that's where I started off with YouTube videos. I just recorded those VODs and made like a big segment of it, and it was great.
So you were just trying to start like Twitch drama.
Basically, yeah, and I think I pretty successfully did at that point.
Yeah. Okay. So, what was the biggest drama between two YouTubers that you were able to conjure up?
Well, it was one big streamer making everyone reported the guy that was impersonating his channel and getting it, like, because I don't know if it's a thing now, but if you get reported enough, you got flagged and you couldn't stream until like Twitch looked into it. So you just got straight up banned for like temporarily just because you got that many reports.
So you were just handing out temp bans to Dark Souls streamers for fun.
Yeah, that was great.
That's awesome.
That was funny.
You know how to make friends.
Yeah,
That's kind of fucking dumb from the Dark Souls streamers, though, right? Like, how would they be like, "Oh, this is another big streamer, and he's cheating in my game. Time to take him down." Like, how would you
fuck him over?
Yeah, like, how would you possibly think that like another streamer would be cheating on stream, which would just get you banned on Twitch forever?
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Because like he said on stream, one of them was like, "Wait, this cannot be. The CP15 Portugal. He's a streamer on Twitch." And he's like, "Okay, guys, here's his Twitch page. Go wild." Oh. Yeah, that was great. That was a fun little arc.
I was going to ask if you regretted those days at all, but it doesn't sound like
no,
you did.
That was hilarious.
So why don't you go back and do it again?
I don't have the time. Again, I mean, you see the videos that I put on my main, like the time it takes to edit those is like, I barely have time to sleep. So, and one thing about Dark Souls 2 streaming is that it's very inaccurate. Like, if you want to stream someone in a Souls game, you just have to be like, well, I hope there aren't 2,000 players in this area because I have about like a 1 out of like 1,000 chance maybe to invade this one person at this particular time. So it's like you sit around for hours and you might not even get a hit. Like,
and if they're streaming as well, I imagine their own fans are also trying to stream snipe them. So you're competing.
You are competing. Yeah, they want to be on stream and kill the streamer.
Wow, so you must have put a lot of fucking time and effort into doing this.
Yeah, no, like back then I had all the time in the world. I had I worked at like a IT job, and the rest of the day I just spent playing video games. Because like, again, if you're below 20 and you have a 8 to 4 job, you have a lot of disposable time. So it's I spent that messing around in Dark Souls. It was fun.
Making enemies, yeah. Sounds fun.
And friends.
Good friends. So Steph, I mentioned this before we started recording. I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about it. You are Norwegian, born and raised in Norway, and I gotta know, is Scandinavia as great as everyone says it is? Because my entire life, I've never heard bad things about those 3 or 4 countries. Just how
often
wonderful.
Do you hear about Scandinavia?
I don't know how much Americans hype up Scandinavia, but here's the thing: like, since I'm a YouTuber and I've lived in various countries, the more I travel around, the more I just want to be in Norway. I'm just like, okay, this is just not, it's just worse. I don't want to be here. I want to go home.
Now, how much of that is like homesickness and wanting to be where you grew up and what you're used to, and how much of it is actually, yeah, Norway fucking blows these places out of the water?
I think it's a little bit of both, but Norway is pretty fucking great. Like it's a good country. It's just that one thing that people bring up a lot, and it's like every time I talk about Norway, and like especially to American people, it's like, well, you guys have such good healthcare. It's like, it's so, you don't have to pay to be picked up by an ambulance. That's crazy. But the thing is, like, if you aren't like literally about to die from cancer, you go to the doctor and they're like, okay, take this pain medication, go home, see ya. Like,
yeah, that's another.
They are paid by the hour, and they just want to get you the fuck out of there, man.
I get the same thing in Germany. It's the same thing. Yeah. People always idolize our healthcare system, but then you realize that you can go to the doctor and say like, doctor, it feels like I'm getting heart attacks, I'm dying in pain. And he's like, okay, we'll get you an appointment 8 months from now.
8 months from, yeah, that's like the classic. Holy, the waiting times are insane. And also they I think my last doctor, I changed because he was completely fucking useless. I came to him with like pains, and I had like a suspicion of what it could be, like it's because of what had happened. I'm not going to go deep into it, so I'll stay with the details. But he was like, okay, yeah, come back in 2 weeks. If it's still there, then we can talk about it. But nothing, absolutely nothing.
That's what so he told you literally to just get better and come back if you're not.
Let time do his trick and fuck off. That's like the negatives of having public healthcare. Yeah. However, if you go to like a private doctor in Norway, then it's going to be like they check everything. But then also they might set you up for like for some kind of scan that costs like $1,000. So because they want you to just, we should probably check this, right? And then they just like, all right, take the or like, I don't know what the scans are called. What are the scans called? Like the MR,
CAT scan,
CT scans,
MRI.
Yeah, MRI, all of those. Like you sign you up for some shit like that, and it's going to cost you a kidney.
It does, but
and you missed this.
They're so fucking fast that when you're used to public healthcare or socialized healthcare, you go, okay, I'm at a private facility right now, so I have a sniffle, and they go, okay, we'll take you in for a blood sample, and then we'll test you for cancer and for HIV and for every other sexually transmitted disease, and we're also gonna test your DNA. And you're like, when is this all gonna happen? And they tell you, in the next 5 minutes. Are you not ready? Yeah, right now.
Yeah. It's like you get an appointment on the day, and then you just do everything there. Like it's insane when they actually put aside the resources for you, and because you pay for it, then
Well, that sounds like a good situation where there's free healthcare for those willing to wait and for those who don't have.
Yeah, the pro of Norway is that you get to choose. Do you want a slow one, or do you want to just skip the line?
That's what I mean. Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
Well, it sounds like there's no benefit to doing with the doctor you had that just said, "Hey, man, just wishing you the best. Come back, maybe."
Well, the benefit is you don't have to pay, really.
Yeah, the benefit is Charlie.
And again, if you break your leg, and if it's something physical that's like harm has been done to you, then they would just like they can physically see that your leg is not connected, and they will be like, okay, this is not going to cost you anything. Just get to the hospital.
Come back in 2 weeks if it doesn't get better.
I just, I'm on Kiwi Farms, and I have these lol cows that I follow. One of my favorite lol cows, his wife recently had a stroke, and she had to be airlifted into some other hospital. Now, because it's the US, they got a literal $500,000 worth of a bill because of this incident.
Holy shit.
And I know that's bankruptcy. You're never going to be able to pay back $500,000 because of a random event that happened to you. And it is sort of an upside that in the European countries, at least in most of them, they're not going to hit you with literal bankruptcy because of a random health event, like a stroke or some other, you slipped and hit your head on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
That's the upside.
That's like a pretty convenient thing to have, I think, for a country. Other about Norway, I guess, like it's beautiful. That's one thing. I'm so far north here that the sun doesn't set. It just goes in circles around the horizon. Like that's pretty cool.
Isn't
that is pretty cool? Holy shit!
Is it awesome?
don't you ever just miss nighttime?
Oh, we get 4 months of night, didn't you know?
Oh, okay, I see.
There's two sides to this coin, you know. The second.
Yeah,
Norway is its own planet.
Those are both extremes, though. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that.
No, it's fucking. It's completely awful. It's hell. Yeah. You get no sunlight. You're just like, you wake up and it's like it's kind of bright because the sun still exists, but it's just behind the mountains, and then it gets a little bit dim, and then it goes down, and it's just completely black outside for the rest of the day at like 2 p.m.
I assume that that you enjoy only the one transitory month where it almost feels normal, but then when you're either in those months where it's almost daytime but always nighttime, you feel like killing yourself. Because that's how I feel it's in Germany too. I like the summer too, man, but fuck me. I mean, the sun going down at 11 p.m. it's just too much. It goes down at 11 p.m. and rises at like 3 a.m. Enough already. I want to sleep. This is cool.
Man, it's nice. It's nice. You're out drinking with your friends, and the sun is always up. You don't get tired. I like it. I don't mind. And like, you might get issues sleeping because the sun is like literally in your eyes all fucking day. Because when it is like this, it hangs low, so the sun will always get in your eyes. But I prefer it. But then again,
just close your window. Who cares?
You literally just close your window, close your blinds. That's it. You're good. Sleep.
But light will still like seep through the cracks and such.
Yeah.
Get a face mask.
What about the winter months then, Albino? I mean, during the winter months, don't you feel like literally hanging yourself because it's dark all day?
Yeah, I've heard like in those conditions, like depression is
that's big in Alaska.
Common.
I think Alaska's in like perpetual
darkness
situation
when they're far enough north.
Isn't Finland known for, because don't they have the harshest winters of the Scandinavian countries? Aren't they known for when winter rolls around, people just start offing themselves left and right
because
it's so hard? Yeah.
And but the thing is that like where I live, Norway is along the coast, and we get like heat from the Mexican Gulf. I think it just hits our shore, so it's not. It gets like -10 here. You go 2 hours inland, and you're just like a frozen block of ice.
Holy shit!
You hit -30 degrees.
Wow.
It's
so how much?
See, you make all this sound so terrible, but I want to remind everyone that Scandinavian countries are consistently ranked as like the happiest and greatest places on earth to live every year.
Yeah, that's because the population in the south of Norway is higher than the population in the north.
I've always heard like Scandinavian women are super attractive. Do you agree with that statement? Since you've been to Spain and such.
I mean, Spain is also they're pretty good looking there too.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't. That's not true. No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Well, maybe it's because you've lived there your whole. Well, you've kind of been brought up there, so you're used to the women. Maybe.
Maybe if you like draw like a really big, an average, sure. Compared to America, because like everyone's fat.
Let's throw the perspective in the other way. So if you're used to all the attractive women, do you look at like American women and just go, "Oh God, they're so disgusting and awful and terrible"?
What's an American woman?
I think no. Oh, dude, I was actually in America to like meet up with someone that I met online, and the cultural differences in dating to compare to like a Scandinavian and an American is huge. It's like it's impossible. I can never ever be with an American woman.
What are the differences?
Yeah,
I'm curious.
Just before you get into the differences, let me get into why it's so important that you use ExpressVPN. And by that I mean Kaya's going to do it, because Kaya loves ExpressVPN.
I love ExpressVPN. It's running right now. I care about my privacy. I really don't want my ISP or any other governmental organization to know, what website I'm looking at or what I'm doing. By the way, all of you guys who might be a little bit tech savvy, who think that, well, all the website that I visit, they use HTTPS. I don't have to worry about the government or any other website knowing my data. That's true, but your ISP can still see what website you're on. HTTPS just prevents your ISP from, let's say, sniffing out your password. It doesn't mean that they don't know what website you're on. If you want to obscure even that, you should really get a VPN. And expressvpn.com/official is the one that I use. I have it always on. It's on my computer. It's on my phone. My girlfriend moved in. It took me literally maybe 2 minutes to install it on her Mac and on her iPhone. I have an Android. So this thing works everywhere. It works on our router. So we don't even have to install this if I have guests over. It doesn't even matter where you want to install it. It takes at most like 10 clicks. That's the easiest thing. You download it, install, click the big red button with your login details or whatever, and it really is just that easy. It's not like the old days where you have to log into every single browser like Internet Explorer, fucking Firefox, and Opera, where you have to find that one page like advanced settings. Advanced internet settings, advanced proxy settings, use custom proxy, use custom IP address, use custom IP address password. No, just one button, click it. You can choose a custom server if you like. It does, depending on which regions, say Netflix or Hulu you want to watch, which is something that I always do because, say for instance, German Netflix does not have all episodes of Inuyasha in English, which is a problem. So I switched to the Canadian Netflix, for instance, to get them all. It's easy, expressvpn.com/official. And if you use our code, first of all, they know that we sent you. It helps the show. It helps us a lot, especially in these times during these, economic turmoils. So if you want to help the show and help yourself as well, because this takes 3 months of the yearly deal. It gives you 3 months for free. If you go to expressvpn.com/official, you should get a VPN on your phone. It works on every device. On your PlayStation, on your router, on your laptop, your PC, Mac, iOS, doesn't matter, Android, any device. It works. You can, once you put it on the router, you can even use it on your Switch. It genuinely does not matter which device. expressvpn.com/official. Stay safe. Don't tell your ISP, don't tell the government what the fuck it is that you're up to on the internet. They have no right to know. Stay safe. expressvpn.com/official.
3 free months.
3 free months.
3 free months.
Of the yearly plan.
At expressvpn.com/official. If you want 3 free months, go to that link. I'm sorry I interrupted discussion. I was just compelled by some unknown force to have to talk about that within a certain time frame. Albino, you were talking about why you'll never date an American woman?
Yeah. That's correct me if I'm wrong, but in America, it's a thing when you go on a date. Does the man pay?
Yeah, typically.
Usually, so.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't, like almost always, it's they split it. Like I don't think it's ever the woman is expected to pay.
Of course,
everything.
Yeah. I mean, the one person.
Will Smith definitely.
He probably pays. Yeah, I would guess so. No, but like so. In Norway, for example, if someone offers to pay, if they're like, "Hey, I'll cover this, don't worry," then it's like, "Okay, go for it." In America, I think it's more like, "Oh, you shouldn't have to." That's like the expected response, like, "Oh, you don't have to do that. Let's just, I'll pay for it." And,
people are saying it to be polite. They're not actually expecting to have to pay. A lot of the
time. So when a girl in America offered to pay for the entire meal, I was like, "Yeah, go for it."
Oh, you got twit-longered after that, didn't you?
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And just like stuff like that. I think gender roles also was a big difference in America and Norway. In Norway, it's very an equal playing field, I think, in terms of like how you treat each other. In America, it seems very, very, very different. But here's the thing: my sample pool isn't very big. It was one person, so everything that I've picked up on is.
So this is less of a review about American women and just this relationship.
I strongly believe even if I have one sample, I think this is an American thing. I'm like 100% sure.
Okay, so what was the gender role difference? So you were equal in Finland. So who was wearing the pants in this American relationship?
Jesus, Jackson, he's just like lobotomized. When have we even mentioned Finland?
Norway.
Yeah.
One of the countries. Yeah,
I said Netherlands earlier. It's fine, Jackson. Don't feel embarrassed. All the Nordic countries kind of blend together.
They do. Everyone online thinks I'm Swedish for some reason. But Finland, that's the first time I've heard that. In terms of like general, it's kind of hard to put the word on it. It's just like general, like subtle interactions on like how you're expected to treat people and how you're expected to be treated. Where some people expect to be treated like princesses. I just, it just didn't click. You could be right.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go for it.
Well, I was going to say, isn't there a cultural attitude of, because I've talked to a few other people from Scandinavia and they've mentioned this, where there's a real cultural attitude in those countries of kind of, you're not special and you're not important and just kind of leave everybody alone and mind your business. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Whereas, I mean, in America, we're very much about like, yeah, you can do it and you're the best and you're number one and get what you want and you're the fucking coolest.
I hate that.
But in Scandinavia, I think the attitude is much more like, mind your business, keep to yourself, don't bother people.
Yeah. It's very grounded.
Nice.
You don't like. There's some strange stuff with that. Like if you give a Norwegian person eye contact while passing them on the street, they will get nervous. But if you're on a mountain hike, and if it's just like if you're on the mountain and you're walking by someone, you say hello and like, hey, how are you? So there's some really weird stuff going on there, and people in Norway generally they keep to themselves. And one thing in America that kind of bothered me was when people kept asking, hi, how are you? And they didn't expect a response. It's just how you say hello.
Yeah, my girlfriend went to Sweden a long while ago, and they went to a supermarket and they were getting a bunch of stuff individually. And as they were checking out, she likes to be very polite with people who help her, like very much, hi, how are you? How's your day going? And the family she was staying with, they had to actually like step in and be like, you're being awkward and rude. They don't do that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's the thing, because I think Scandinavian people, not just Norwegian, Finns, or whatever, all of them, we get like nervous if you start asking like a person who's on their job how they're doing or like how their day has been. There's like, I'm fine, They get
what are you guys hiding? You sound like a colony of like murderers or
you
something.
Sound like
hiding a secret.
You sound like the
Dude,
wet
we just
dream
mind our own
of
business,
some
man.
guy.
What did I say?
Dude, you sound like a country that somebody made up who jacks off to hentai. Like all the girls are super shy, and you touch them, they come, and everybody's like super. I say hello, and she's like, don't talk to me, senpai's talking to me.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is. But until you introduce alcohol, that's like how we cope with it. That's how you break the ice. It's just alcohol. That's it.
Classic stuff. So what are some other oddities or cultural differences of Norway and Scandinavia you can bring up?
Do you guys have a big flat Earth movement over there?
No, I don't think we have at all.
Fucking idiots, then, huh?
The entire country is pretty much atheist. No flat earthers that I know of.
Missing out, man.
It seems to be some really good content, yeah. So some good entertainment to be had, but we unfortunately aren't blessed with those.
Not yet. You need to get them on Facebook, man. That'll open their eyes.
Yeah. No, we just we don't have that whole movement over here. Seems to be. I've actually only seen American people on that.
Well, okay? Yeah.
Why? Imagine
come
why.
on, that's crazy.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, how could that possibly be? Next, you'll tell me anti-vaxxers is a primarily American movement. What? Come on.
There's something that every country cares the most about, where, if you go on Twitter or some other social media on that country's region, it'll show you that top trending hashtag in that country. What is it for Norway? What are you guys are always... What is it that riles you guys up?
I have no idea. I'm completely detached from my country. I do not care. Like I've been on the internet and been like a very international person ever since I was like literally 12 years old.
I envy you.
Yeah, I barely even know who our prime minister is. Like sometimes I forget.
I mean,
so what moral code do you follow then? Do you follow your country's moral code, or do you follow the American moral code?
You sound like
what's
a religious.
Yeah, what does that
now.
mean?
What's up, God? How do you know what morality is?
Yeah,
you don't read the Bible.
How do you know not to rape
left and
right?
But, well, like, are you more of an American now that you you live on the internet and you know more about the American culture? Or do you still
the internet isn't entirely just America, Jack.
It really is.
It's true, because it's mostly really American. Norwegian people on the internet mainly speak, or it used to be. It's kind of shifting now, because like children play Fortnite and children are Norwegian too, and they learn to speak English. But it used to be that Norwegian people just hang out on like fucking Facebook or very surface level stuff, and they don't go into anything else. And most people just don't go much on the internet. So Norwegian is very, very small on the net, except for like in the recent years,
Yeah, I think the internet is far more Americanized.
Very American,
than
especially Twitter.
You and
I guess that does make
Europe.
sense. Yeah.
You can't tell me that, you know, half the internet isn't, or almost all of the internet isn't Americanized when literally, you know, the 10 out of the 10 top social media sites are American. Come on.
No,
Twitter,
you're
Facebook,
right.
Reddit, whatever, everything Hollywood.
I recede my point. You're right.
Yeah.
You guys are actually totally right now that I'm thinking about it.
So I was wondering if that impacts. I don't even know what a moral code is really, but I was wondering if that impacts the way you live day to day. Since you're most you said that you're living in like an American kind of mind frame or lifestyle. Since you're always on the internet.
Yeah, but that's like, it's hard to explain it because this is all I really know. I can't like compare it to anything.
Yeah. No, I get that.
He lives by the
I
code of
also don't know
Hammurabi.
what Jackson's even asking.
Yeah.
He understands what I'm saying. He just says he can't quantify it because he doesn't have any kind of.
I think he's
thing to
asking
compare
that
it to.
you don't necessarily feel some sort of patriotism towards Norway or allegiance to Europe or America or any specific country or aligned with their values. I assume.
Yeah,
Albino.
I just don't like
That's
America.
how I feel.
Yeah, like America.
you're
All
the
right,
wrong
man. Fine. I
podcast
see
then.
how it is.
Whoa.
Fine.
I'm just gonna say, you
I
know, fuck
bring
it.
you on our podcast. I extend a diplomatic invitation, and this is how you treat me.
I mean, it's kind of
Tensions arising.
it's kind of deserved. It's kind of this. Honestly, I think it's earned.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, we fuck some stuff up. I'll
Every
tell you
time, every time I go online, like it's either like America's just burning to the fucking ground. Like it's always America.
that. Well,
It's
hey,
taking everyone
no,
down with it, though. At least on the internet.
America's not burning down to the ground. We're just trying to win at everything. For example, Florida is now becoming the world epicenter for COVID. So we're just trying to
that's a
take the
myth.
championship in everything.
That's not
That's a myth.
How is
It's
that
not a myth at all.
Why are you guys pulling shit out of your asses? It's the most uninformed. Are you looking statistics from like 5 months ago? You guys are doing fine compared
More like
to
5
every
minutes
other
ago.
place.
We have 15,000 cases a day in Florida.
Yeah, New York is doing worse. How about that? What about China? What about India? Well, you guys are so self-flagellating. Why are you doing this cringe?
China, they have 0 new cases.
thing
What do you mean?
that's- exactly right. China has 0 cases. I wonder why. You
No
guys are
cases.
doing this cringe thing where everyone's like, "Oh, we're uniquely evil. We're uniquely bad. Oh, we're so terrible. Look at those. Look at that couple at the beach. They're so evil. Grandma killers." Just get over it.
Killers.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'll get over people dying of an infectious disease. You're right.
How many people
you're being
died
very
yesterday,
selfish,
Andrew?
Andrew.
Do you know the number? You don't.
Do you know their names, Andrew?
Do you know anything
Yeah,
besides
more
Florida
than one.
bad?
That's. You just literally said New York bad.
Do you know the number? Okay, so how many people died though?
Yeah,
Couple thousand.
couple thousand. And
Yesterday,
even
couple
then, if they
thousand
don't
died
die,
in
they're still
Florida?
getting. Even
In
then, if they
general.
don't die, what does it matter if they die or not? They're still getting sick with a disease, and it causes medical issues for those people who don't die.
Kind of matters if you die.
Clogs up the medical
Death-
system too.
Death is kind of important.
So if you get sick and you don't die, does the illness not at all matter? If you had like the
It
worst
sounds like
case
you're
of
the one
influenza,
arguing that death doesn't matter anyway, Kaya.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
there's still
I'm arguing that it's a different thing where if 1,000 school children who are all 7 years old get the virus versus 1,000 70-year-olds. That is a big difference. The virus is
I
basically...
don't
Yeah, but there's
understand
not
your
the
point at all, because it's not just
Yeah.
only old people getting the disease.
The
It's
median
people of
did-
all ages.
there might be
Right.
a difference, but those are still both bad.
The median is in the 30s right now for Florida on people who are getting
Yeah.
COVID.
The death?
And also, children
death, the
die of
median
this
is 30?
disease and have.
Who cares about the death, Kyle? Why do you keep
What do you
bringing
mean?
it
Who
up?
cares
It's
about
talking
how many
who's
people
getting
die?
it.
Who cares?
Is that what you're telling me? It doesn't matter who's dying, it matters how many people are get the sickness?
They both
It
matter. Kaya.
absolutely matters
It
how many people
absolutely
get
matters.
the sickness in general. They don't have to die for it to be important. The common cold's extremely important. People usually don't die from it.
Yeah, but you're just saying a lot of people got sick. Okay, it matters who got sick. Do you know that? Who? What age
Yes, and the
group?
median age is in the 30s on the people that are getting sick.
Okay, 30s is not that dangerous. It's like plus 40 or 50. If you're a child, this virus is actually less deadly than the common flu. If you're not a child, then it starts getting dangerous, and then even then, it's peaks at like 70. So yeah, it is important. The age of the people who are getting sick. It matters.
What is your point? Can we bring it back? What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say that when
I
you
was
say,
just gonna bring up that.
15,000 new cases. Okay, are those children? Are those old people? It's like when...
And then what?
And are the, like... how to explain this? Charlie, 15,000 new cases doesn't mean... 15,000 cases doesn't mean 15,000 deaths. Do you understand that?
No one said that. Nobody
here said that.
Did anyone say that?
Demographics
But
are
doesn't
here.
50,000 cases mean that more people are going to get infected because the more spread, the more it affects? I mean,
Kaya, yes, the flu is terrible. Spanish flu, which was regular influenza, killed more people than World War II back when it came out. Yes, there are other diseases that are terrible, but COVID is extremely highly infectious. That's the big scare with it. It just keeps spreading and moving and growing.
And has a very low death rate unless you're literally 70 years old. You know that the rest of Europe is laughing at you guys? I was out today, walking along the beach, walking along the shore. I sat at a restaurant. No one's wearing masks. I walked into a restaurant with my mask because I wear them. I don't mind wearing a mask. It's kind of annoying and tedious, but I wear it out of common courtesy to like older folks who walk past me. But the waiter literally kind of smirked at me like, you don't need a mask here.
Would you go to Disneyland right now?
That makes it fine then. The scientists working at that restaurant means that it's fine.
They're diseaseologists in the back.
You guys are right. Everyone's dying. There's
cutting
millions
edge
of bodies
research
in the streets. You know, the virus.
Would you go to
100%
Disneyland
death
right
rate.
now, Kaya?
Would
you criticize the protests, Andrew? The racial protests where like 100,000 people got together, shoulder to shoulder, shouting and spitting slogans.
What does that have to do with this at all?
You guys are so self-flagellating in America. All you want to do is say, Florida man bad. Look at us Floridians. We're terrible.
I didn't even specify Florida. I said America's bad.
Why are you guys hitting yourself? Why are you guys just punishing yourself so bad when you're kind of doing okay?
We're doing okay? Like 15,000 new cases a day is okay?
Yeah, we have people protesting in the streets because they want gyms open and to get haircuts and they're not wearing masks.
Yeah, I was
we're
gonna
not
say
doing okay at all.
It's in America. I think it's the only country I've seen people literally out in the streets protesting that they don't want to wear the mask or they want to break the quarantine. Because it hurts my freedom.
But that's okay.
Our president held a giant fucking rally of thousands of people and had absolutely no mandates on personal protection or space. Like,
what
we're
about
not
the
doing
other
okay.
protest, Andrew?
They wore masks and they tried to distance for a lot of them.
A lot of them did not wear masks, and masks are magic. They
and even then, that's an American protest. You're proving my point that America sucks. What are you talking about?
Okay, I'm just saying that a lot of you guys seem to think that those protests made you immune to the virus somehow, that those don't matter.
Where is this coming from?
You guys don't see
what science fiction is that?
You guys didn't see these headlines about how the Black Lives Matter protests reduced the rate of infections? This is an actual headline.
You read way too much news and take it as fact, dude. You really do. You're quoting headlines like everyone believes them.
No, okay. You're blaming me for headlines somebody else wrote and I'm making fun of them?
Oh,
well, you're using it in
I thought you were earnestly
us.
saying that. I didn't know you were joking. Okay.
It's hard to know where it's going because on one hand, you're arguing the coronavirus isn't a big deal and 15,000 cases a day is fine. And then on the other hand, you're saying that now we're saying we're immune to it because of the protests.
It's fine. I'm just saying you guys make it out to be as if you are uniquely bad or uniquely incompetent, which you are not. Okay.
I mean, it's relative.
And you guys are making it out to be
themselves to look at the.
You're also making it out to be as if America is the center of the world and look at us, we're terrible. Meanwhile, the rest of the planet is opening up, and our cases aren't any less than your guys's are. We're just testing less.
It is literally less.
It is exactly
literally less.
America has superseded the entire world in infection rate.
Is that like per capita or is it just like total?
China has 0 cases. You believe that? You cite cases like it really matters. China has 0 cases. India has 0 cases. Turkmenistan has 0 cases. So all of those places are doing better than you guys.
What does that change about our cases? What does that change?
There's one thing though, like America is like, yeah, they're bad at like preventing spread. But when I like just take Spain for example, Spanish people right now, they don't care about Corona doesn't exist unless their neighbor is sick. Like they just don't give a shit. When they were just getting hit by it and people were like choking to death in the hospitals, hundreds a night, the police officers. I went through the I think it's called the boarding pass check before the security control, and the guy was there. Was like, hey, you gotta keep 1 meter, blah blah blah, and all this stuff. And I looked to my left, and there's like 4 police officers or like security guards, I guess you could call them, like stacked on each other. They were like going hand in hand basically over there. And I look at them and then I look at him and it's like, really, dude? Like, do you guys actually care? And then you have the security guards who's touching the insides of people's bags, coughing into his hand, like literally into his hand in the glove. And then it's like, oh, we found a little bottle of water in your back. I'm gonna take everything out and touch everything inside. Like, Europe is pretty fucking bad too. Like, it's not just America,
videos
but
you see of someone. This literally, again, this only happens in America. Some Karen will go up to a guy who's not wearing a mask and start screeching at him because he's not wearing a mask. And you're putting everyone in danger. Meanwhile, she's getting within an inch of his face and screaming at him without her mask because she had to pull it down to scream at him. This is an American thing. The rest of the planet has moved on, you guys. We beat this shit. You guys need to get over the politics of this shit. Florida isn't uniquely evil. You guys really just incredibly politicize this. Germany is open right now for travel from like a dozen fucking countries, and inside of Europe, travel is open. We're fine. Our restaurants are jam-packed. People aren't getting sick. They're not dying on the streets.
People just got a second wave in Spain.
It's literally just you guys acting as if this is some super space aids from space that just can phase through walls, eats through metal, and kills everyone. Unless you're at a protest for racial injustice. Then you're immune.
So what you're saying is it's worse. You're saying it's worse in America, which is what Andrew and Charlie were kind of arguing.
No, you guys pretend that it's worse in your places when it isn't.
What are you talking about, Kaya? It is literally like 3 times more cases here. What are you even talking about?
2 or 3
it's fine in
times
Germany,
more
Charlie, so
testing,
you're
then.
wrong. Look at how good it is in Germany, Charlie. There's nothing to be afraid of. God, you guys are dumb. What are you talking about?
I don't even know who's like arguing for what here. I'm just like trying to get a hold of, like, I gave up. I think I gave up at this point.
Everyone has given
I
up.
have no idea what this is going.
See, this is the kind of misinformation. Zandy says Kaya's acting like deaths aren't still rising. They aren't. They're falling. Do you guys still look at fucking death rates from 5 months ago?
No, they're not. No, they're not
falling.
Oh my god. Kaya, you look at your own country's statistics and then plant that on everything else as it's indicative of how everyone else is handling it.
First of all, my country's death rates better be falling. I pay like a kidney and a half in health taxes, okay? They better be providing my kidneys for me. Let's Google this.
Oh, that sounds great. I'd love to see how this goes. Oh, what do you know? It turns out there is like 3 million cases in America.
3 million, yes, Charlie. So is this what you guys believe, that there's 3 million deaths right now?
Germany has 200,000 active cases right now.
What is wrong with you? When I say how many cases, you're like, oh, so 3 million deaths, Charlie. Are you that dumb? That's what you're saying? That's what you're saying, Charlie?
That was your number. I love how this is a 4-on-1 or 3-on-1 pylon. And here's the graph. Does this look rising to you? Does that death rate look rising to you, Charlie?
Oh yeah, there's definitely 3 million people.
Hey, look at the
Germany
cases,
right now.
Kaya. Look at those new cases. I'd love to see that graph.
The death rate, Charlie. How many people are actually dying from this? Does it look rising to you?
Who's talking about deaths? We're talking about cases. We're talking about cases, Kaya. Cases.
Okay, I'm talking about the things that matter, Charlie. It doesn't matter how many people get cancer. It matters how many people actually die from it.
Oh, it doesn't matter how many people have cancer.
You know, there's a funny thing about illness, Kaya. It's called symptoms. It's where if you're sick, you might not be able to work or take care of your children or your family, and that's kind of important to countries and people and economies.
No, only death, Andrew. Death is the only symptom that matters.
Doesn't matter if you infect your neighbor
death doesn't
and
matter,
your
just,
employer.
Yeah, and that too.
Cases.
And then and Albino's got a great point. If it spreads to your neighbor whose immune system isn't as good, that could result in a new death or new complications. It's almost like death isn't the only factor of disease.
Yeah, but here's the thing: the first 2 weeks of incubation, you're asymptomatic. You don't know you have the thing until maybe 2 weeks.
So maybe don't attend protests. Don't scream at your neighbor if you see him at the store. Don't try to film him with just getting in his face, trying to get him canceled. It seems fairly easy not to.
And that's part of my point. You're talking about social distancing, and America's really bad at it. That was part of my point. That was a lot of my point.
and yet your death rates
we
is
went
going
back- we
down
went full
in
circle
general.
again.
You guys are such apocalyptic
Jesus
babies,
Christ.
ripping your hairs out, setting
Stop.
yourselves on fire. You're not dying. This isn't Mad
Stop.
Max.
This
Stop
is-
pretending like you're in
Jesus
Mad
Christ.
Max realm.
No one engage. Albino.
No, everyone hold.
I can. I have no idea how the chat can even like stand that kind of just general fucking
Just
nonsense.
stop.
Good
Stop.
lord.
No.
Stop. All right.
Albino, thank you so much for coming on. By the way,
Yeah.
Oh, it's cool. It's been fun. It's been a ride.
But before we wrap up for the day, I want to ask you though. It's been a while since we've asked the jerk off question, so I do want to ask: do you have any wild and wacky masturbation stories? What's the weirdest thing you've done to your penis?
The weirdest thing I've done to my penis. Well, my ex convinced me to try sounding.
oh God,
Fuck
that's
me.
bold.
Your ex convinced you?
No.
Yeah.
That is a
It's
weird
good.
woman.
You're going to like it, they said. But yeah, that's
How?
how you put something inside of, like, you know,
No,
the
no,
hole
no.
you
I mean, how
piss
did
from?
she convince you? What did she say?
No, it was just like, if you haven't tried something, why not try it? Like that's the you don't know if you're not gonna like it.
That's all it took.
Yeah.
Did you tell her, okay, I'll do it if you put this dildo up your nostrils?
No, I was like, sure, let's go.
did you like
And
it?
how
You
did
seen
it-
that picture
how
on
did
the
it
internet that
feel?
was like, let's fucking go, like that. That's it.
So wait,
So
you
wh-
did it and just popped it out and went, haha, that was fun.
I was like,
Well-
that's not for me.
You must have a really big urethra, man. Like actually, like a huge urethra, because
What?
that shit can permanently damage you.
Can it?
What
no,
did you-
if they use
Yeah.
like the rods that are like, they have basically no friction, then
Oh, you bought special tools for it.
yeah, of course. I want to put like a pencil
Okay.
into my dick.
Oh God, that would scare the fucking piss out of me just losing it
How
inside
thick
there.
is it?
Ugh.
Louis, you don't put the entire thing in, dude. What the fuck?
Yeah, but what if your hand slips and you're like, oops?
Well, it's
Oh,
not
just
just
gonna
a
slide all the way
It
down.
drops
Yeah,
down
my
there like
fucking
you
dick.
dropped a pipe down a hole.
Yeah, hang on, Albino, how thick are the tools and how long? Like what dimensions are we talking about?
I don't know the measurements. They aren't very, like, they're not the size of a pencil. There's different sizes too. You can just like choose
Q-tip?
what you want. Like how big?
A Q-tip maybe?
Well, a Q-tip, the tip of the Q-tip or the rod of the Q-tip?
Both, I guess. I don't know. You tell me.
They're not
You
the
have
same
it in your
size.
dick.
I guess the rod of a toothpick. Oh, Q-tips.
Q-tip.
There we go. Brain damage.
Q-tips.
Q-tip. Yeah,
Like the
toothpick would not be very pleasant.
Toothpick.
No, that would be awful. The things you clean your ear with, right?
yeah. The rod of that.
Did you do this medically? Because usually Q-tips aren't used for like that kind of stuff for pleasure.
No, he's saying
No,
that's,
I'm saying
he's
that's
how
like
thick
the
that was.
size of it. He was asking for the size.
I
I didn't put a Q-tip
I
in.
got
That
confused.
would be painful as fuck.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the first time anyone on this show has ever said that they've been sounded. So that's a
No,
first.
that's not
Yeah.
true. Charlie had a camera up his dick or something.
Oh well,
That's a cystoscopy.
that wasn't for enjoyment.
That's
though.
that's for medical
Still
reasons.
sounding.
We should have like a running we should have a running tally of like firsts for penis stuff that our guests have done.
I mean, that's definitely a first. Yeah.
Yeah. Albino, congratulations. You are the first sounder on our show if you want.
I'm
Have
honored.
you done it since?
No, I just it was not for me. That's why I
Are you
tried it.
still together?
I don't know why people are like, oh, did it not take you more than that? Try it. It's like, dude, you won't know. You guys should try it. Maybe you'll like
No.
it.
Fuck that.
No, I'm not trying.
No.
I've had a urethral swab and hated it.
But those hurt.
So-
I've had that too.
Are you,
Yeah, those
Albino, are
fucking
you guys
terrible.
still together? Did it make your bond stronger or?
I made it's my ex for a reason. Ex,
Okay.
not girlfriend. So yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So this was the breakup reason. Did you squeeze your dick and drip some blood on the?
Yeah, she kind of just like
Table,
jammed the
so
entire
this
thing
is-
in and hurt me really bad. So I was like, no, I'm leaving.
Ugh. Did you sound her back? Like, was it mutual?
Yeah. Did you return the favor? Did you stick it in her piss hole?
No,
Okay.
didn't get the opportunity.
Well, I'm glad we got to the bottom of this love story.
Yeah.
And on that note, I think we should wrap it up here. That's a good answer, though, Albino. I appreciate.
Where can
the
people
honesty.
go, Albino,
Anytime.
to find you and your Fortnite videos?
On youtube.com. Do we have a custom? I don't remember my custom URL. Just search for Albino. You'll find it.
I'll put the link in the description anyway. You can go down below and find his channel. That's everything. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. We got a Patreon, patreon.com/theofficialpodcast for bonus episodes, as well as a lot of cool stuff over there. Oh, Kai, we've got merchandise now, right? Well, new merch.
Official.man/
so that'll be on screen.
merch. Yeah, we got some new merchandise. The edible humans that we talked about 2 weeks ago. And also somebody asked on Reddit, yes, we do own official.man. It's not a troll trying to make us look bad.
It's just Kaya making us look bad, believe it or not.
It's a fun fan fiction I found online, and it's our name substituted. I'm not apologizing for it. I think it's funny. Official.man/merch. Go there. And patreon.com/theofficialpodcast if you want to listen to almost 60 bonus episodes.
Bonus episodes, as well as discount on merchandise and stuff like that. You go over and have a look and you'll find some cool stuff, I'm sure.
Everything.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Yeah. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.